You are tuned to ARP on the Accelerated Radio Network. It's 12 noon, and it's time to have lunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Bringing money talk you can understand. And now here's your host, Miss Charlene.
Today we have Pastor Ed Smith. Pastor Ed, how are you today? I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm doing wonderful. So I got a little crowd there too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Zoe Christian Fellowship. Pastor Ed, you want to tell me a little bit about yourself? I know you because you're my pastor and it's my church that I go to, but I'd love to have you tell us just a little bit about yourself.
It's interesting. To be quite honest, I believe that I was born to do what I do.
Amen.
How I grew up with humble beginnings in South LA, seeing some negative things, but also helped form me. The fire formed me. Got a desire from wanting more in life, a better life, not just for myself, for my family and so forth. Had a chance to go to college. I went to UCLA and got a degree in applied mathematics and in business, and very limited exposure to outside of LA. So UCLA was a huge trip for me. But then I got involved in business when I finished college, and a whole new world opened up. And I started working for Fortune 500 companies in various parts of the country and in the Midwest and also here on the West Coast, and got into financial services. I became vice president of marketing for a family savings bank, a black bank here for many, many years. And then got recruited there to work for another major financial services company in Orange County. And then God called me to preach. And then eventually I became a pastor. And it was a little awkward because I didn't want to be a pastor. I don't like pastors, to be quite honest.
Really?
No, I don't like pastors. But I opened myself up to what God called me to do. And because of that, my approach to life and ministry brings what I learned in Little League baseball, Pop Warner football, my business background, all that come together. Living in a single-family parent household on welfare, all that came together to form me as to who I am today. And it is awesome. And so I feel very confident and comfortable in who I am, and the results of the ministry speak for itself.
Now, when you talk about the different elements that came together to create who you are, and you can look back over the span of your life so far and see that all those things play together for you, and maybe at the time they weren't comfortable situations, but when in hindsight, when you look back, they all created the person that sits with us today. And what I wanted to know, like you said, you were mentioning parts like Pop Warner football and those kind of things. How do those elements help create? Because we have young people that listen, and they're at different stages in their lives, and they don't really see where it's going for them. Mm-hmm. So maybe you could explain just a little bit how those elements came together for you.
Well, playing Pop Warner football, for example, taught me team spirit and teamwork, and that was huge. Mm-hmm. It taught me and gave me experience about winning, because we were a championship team in Baldwin Hills Pop Warner football team, and so even when we lost a few games every now and then, we knew that wasn't the end. So we were able to keep going. That came to me in terms of being successful in my academics, because it was difficult. I decided to become a math major at UCLA, and I had no formal math background. And being in high school, I took a few classes, but I was not that good at it. I decided to become a math major because I thought it would help me become an architect. And so I realized, because they didn't have a architectural school at UCLA.
Right.
So I said, let me get some technical degree. And so I had to work really hard, but I learned to appreciate it, and I became good at it.
So, exploring what your goal was, you got past what your challenge was, which was math, and you knew to become an architect, you had to get past that challenge.
Right. So what it did, it developed in my heart and my mindset not to be a quitter, not to quit on me, quit on my dreams, and to develop a strong work ethic. And that is the key to building wealth. That is the key to being successful in whatever endeavor you want to do, because you have to do multiple things. I have a family, I'm married, have 4 children, have 3 grandsons, I pastor a thriving church, and I have my own ministry and business. And so as a result of that, there's a lot of things I do, and I have to work hard to make it happen, but I love it. And so with that kind of mindset, then you can accomplish your dreams, as opposed to expecting everything to be handed to you.
That's absolutely right. I agree with that. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 secrets of wealth building.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that there are no secrets, but we need to discuss some of the things that would help a person getting there. And that's one of my passions.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons I do this show is to help people get to a comfortable place in life and someplace that they would like to be.
Yes.
So one of the things I thought we could talk about is, the 5 steps in that we kind of discussed earlier were health, legacy, finance, enhancement of your skill sets, and dispelling fear. So I wanted to start with the health aspect, because people don't really see that as being a wealth building part, but
Mm-hmm.
it is. So could you just speak to that a little bit? Because I know we had at our church recently, we had that component.
Yeah. Well, our health is where we carry our heart, our spirit, our life in our bodies. And without maintaining good health, we get distracted, we get derailed, and ultimately it can cause our life to be cut short, much shorter than what it should be. We should be living over 100 years old. People do it all the time today. And more and more people are living 100 years old or more. But part of it is having a vision for it and having a reason why I want to live 100 years old and be healthy, walking, driving, doing things, doing what you really want to do, not working so much in a 9 to 5, but doing what you want to do. So your health requires you, if you would, to live a long life. And one of the key things about living a long life, it takes about 50 years to learn something.
That's very true.
We think we got it at 20 and 30 and 40 years old.
That's true.
It takes about 50 years to get out of debt. It takes about 50 years to get your kids out of the house and move on. It takes about 50 years to learn from your own mistakes and regroup and get back on track.
That's true.
And so at 60, it's no time to be dying now. You're just starting to live.
That's very true.
So when you understand this, you have a motivation. And many people are starting new careers at 60, 65. And they already have a retirement package from their company to work for 25, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they're full of life, especially the baby boomers. One of the challenges, to be quite honest, with some of our younger people is that we baby boomers aren't moving over. Okay, we ain't going nowhere.
That's very true.
So we want to encourage our young people we work together, get yours, but we're not going nowhere soon. So we may be, older. Many of us are starting new careers, starting companies, starting businesses, and we want to leave an example for our young people to follow. Live life.
That's right. That's why I incorporate a lot of young people
Mm-hmm.
in the show, because I feel like, they need the experience.
Mm-hmm.
They want the experience, and they are good at what they do.
Exactly.
And so for me, I love surrounding myself with young people. It keeps me up on what's going on too.
That's it. That's what I'd like to see in the studio. So you got these young people here working,
Absolutely,
helping us out.
Yes. And so when you say legacy is a component also, that's something that, people may think about. They say, oh, I want to kind of leave something for my kids or, my house or something, but they don't think about the bigger picture, like, education,
Mm-hmm.
making that a part, starting a business that perhaps they can enhance, because like we said, we have the young people here with us today.
Yeah.
And in our own families. I know your daughter's a stylist, and she helps style you, right?
Yeah, she helps me out a lot.
Yeah, and my son is in marketing, and so
See?
he kind of tells me what to do as far as the show is concerned.
Great.
So tell us a little bit about how that can be a definite positive towards wealth building.
Well, legacy is huge because this is how life is designed. People who really get involved in only themselves, even if you're single, maybe you're a widow or you never got married or what have you, and have no children. What about the nieces and nephews? What about the young people in your community, in your broader family that need help? And so the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so that means your grandchildren.
That's right.
Well, I look at it this way. It's enough to outlast your children. Okay, you got something you left pretty significantly.
Yes.
And one thing beside money to leave is values. The stats say and tell us that within 3 years, most wealth that's left to the next generation is gone in 3 years if there's no clear vision.
Right.
And so what we're doing is trying to help people to understand, not just build a legacy and wealth and leave for your children to give them a kickstart in life, but leave the value because they have to learn how you earned it.
Yes.
The hard work, the work ethic, being the character that you had to represent, being honest, not a crook, not cutting corners, have an eye for detail, committed to excellence. That has to be taught and watched. and caught by being around the people that made the money. So our approach is that we plan to have some workshops and also retreats for families, so they can begin to bring their children and share the family vision,
That's
their
excellent.
family values, so they can awaken the potential inside of their family.
I love it. And we're going to talk about awakening in a minute
Okay.
too. And then you talk about finance. That's the part that everyone focuses on when they're talking about building wealth. They say, I want to get a lot of money, and then there's the situation sometimes where they get a lot of money, don't know what to do with it.
Yes.
There are no investments. They don't create a portfolio so that they can sustain it. They don't buy houses. They lease them instead, and they live, high on the hog, as we would call it, for a little while, but there's no substance to it. So could you speak to that a little bit also?
Well, one of the things in terms about wealth, there's a classic book called The Millionaire Next Door.
Yes, I read that book.
And most millionaires in America aren't wearing the bling, aren't driving Bentleys, aren't driving Cadillacs. They're driving Fords,
Right.
trucks. Their car is probably 5 or 10 years or more old. They typically don't buy brand new cars. They may buy maybe a 1-year car. Why? Because they get a better price on it.
That's right.
They're getting deals. They spend their money wisely. They invest. And most of them are business owners or entrepreneurs.
Right.
They're the plumbers, they're the accountant, they're the insurance person. They may operate a local store in a neighborhood. And so those are the people that are most of the millionaires. The guys you see typically on Wall Street and many other areas, some of them, too many of them, if you would, they have the outward look, but they don't have wealth. Wealth is that if you take away, if you pay all your bills off, and then you look at what you have left, that's wealth.
That's wealth.
Okay, so that's a simple definition. So a lot of people are heavily in debt, or they're cash poor. They're spending all their money. They got places, they got to take a vacation. They got places in Aspen. They got this and that, and they don't own nothing of any value that got appreciation and value. So the old money, what I call old money, and there are many old money people and old money neighborhoods in the greater LA area, they pass it on. They've been there for years and years and for generations, and they teach their children to operate by the same principles the great-great-grandfathers and mothers did in earning it.
That is wonderful. Zoe Christian Fellowship of Whittier, and you are the pastor there, and these are some of the principles that you teach there. I don't feel that our church is so traditional.
We try not to.
Right. And it's more of an educational experience for me. It's a spiritual and educational experience. And so could you talk to that a little bit, about Zoe and how it was built and what the foundation of it is?
Well, 26 years ago, I started the church in my living room when I got the call to start a church. And we started at Cerritos High School, and we were there for 6.5 years. And then we bought our current facility in 1995 in Whittier, California. Almost 5 acres. At that time, it was the largest church property sold in that year. And it was like getting the spoils of Egypt. It was fully furnished. Everything was there, organ, audio system, chairs in the kitchen, and it had all the plates and stuff. But we believed God for it. We began to have a vision. It was key. And that's key for anything in life. It has to start with vision. What do you want? And sometimes people are afraid to really speak and go after the vision because they're afraid, as you mentioned earlier. And that's why what a church does, our church and churches like ours, they encourage people and we teach them to tap into the potential inside of them. God created every human being with great potential. And so Jesus, he says, if you come learn of me, I'll teach you. You got to come learn. And for example, one thing we've been teaching recently is about a principle that I plan to write a book on. It's called, Jesus says, you need to ask, seek, and knock. If you ask, you shall find. Seek, if you ask, you shall be given unto you. If you seek, you shall find. And you knock, the door shall be open. That's the key to any discovery in life. Scientists, or your purpose in life, or accomplishing or solving a problem. You ask God, what should I do? Where should I go? Then you ask yourself questions. You start talking to yourself. What about this? What about that? What about that? Oh, and then you start seeking for solutions. Internet, books, other colleagues, people you know, people you don't know. You follow that trail, and then you find. Once you find, you knock on that door. And when that door implies that that means something's behind that door you need, that you started out asking for and seeking for. Mm-hmm. What people do, they only ask, and if they don't seek and knock, they don't get all that they need.
That's very true. And you brought up a great point, because it's not just people in our immediate surroundings or our immediate
That's right.
influence. It can be people outside of that. And we have to have the confidence to ask, because most people of influence do want to teach.
Exactly.
They do want to have an opportunity to share the information that they've gotten. So, I agree with you in that area. And as far as having some type of faith,
Mm-hmm.
a belief in something other than yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Some higher force that you believe is in charge, that you can go to, when things aren't going well, or just to seek knowledge from.
Right.
And so you're listening to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. I'm Miss Charlene, and we're talking to Pastor Ed Smith, and he's from Zoe Christian Fellowship of Whittier, and he's dropping a lot of knowledge on us today, and I'm loving it. So,
Me too.
Pastor Ed, you spoke a little bit, we talked about fear for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'd like to bring that up, because, I talk about that because I feel like that's something that can really stop a person. I went yesterday to a wonderful event. It was at USC, and it was for women in business.
Wow.
And it was a wonderful experience, and I met some wonderful women there. And one of the things, the theme throughout, even though the theme was about thriving and striving and becoming better, one of the things throughout, as I talked to people, they were talking about being fearful, overcoming that fear, walking through it, learning how to deal with it. And some were still captured by it, wanting to start a business but being afraid to do so. So could you kind of speak to fear? Because that was something that I learned from you, how to get past that. So could you share that with my audience?
Yes. Fear is something that everybody deals with at some level in their life. And the Bible refers to it as a spirit of fear. So it is really, really captivating. And it's designed to take from you.
Yes.
Fear is not a good thing. Sometimes people think, well, it's okay, I have a little fear. Well, yeah, you'd be afraid. You may press in beyond it. But fear is not a good thing. What people need is faith. Faith in God, but faith also in their dreams that God put in their heart. And faith that their pursuits and their efforts will take them to a better place and the desired little place they want to be. And without that faith, they're not taking steps. And so too often people have a misunderstanding. It's like getting married. A lot of men don't get married because they're waiting for the perfect person. They want to make sure they aren't anticipating they'll have any problems, or they don't want any, and that's not life.
That's true.
If you want to start a business, you're going to have problems. You're going to have people problems, money problems, customer problems. The key is having faith and skill set developed to solve problems.
That's right.
And not be afraid to have problems. So when fear comes, fear really designed to stop you in your tracks and get you in a bad place. And so you want faith that would take you to a better place, and sometimes you have to overcome some mountains, some obstacles. And this is where faith in God and faith in the principles of truth based in the scriptures are very, very valuable, as well as having faith in God inside of you. And faith that the vision that God put in you, even as a young boy, young girl, that God did not make an accident, and you have confidence to pursue it. Oftentimes you don't know how to go about it, but at least begin.
That's very true. That's very true. And you talked about in one of the services that I attended, you talked about fear and its cousins, and how fear shows up in more than one form. And that's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
and it shows up in more than one form. And could you talk about that? Fear has
relatives. One of them is procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
You put things off. Well, I'll do it later, or you keep kicking the can down the road. And that's huge, because there is a classic by Langston Hughes, a poem called Hope Deferred, Dreams Deferred. Well, the Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick. And so when a person keeps kicking down their dreams, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to go back in this class, I'm going to start here. Just start small. The Bible says, don't despise the days of small beginnings. And so you have to start with a big office building, a big staff. Start by yourself with a vision. And so that's the big one, is procrastination. And because once you get started and get some experience and some encouragement, then it's easier to continue down that road. Another one is, people need to appreciate is sometimes they blame people. They blame everyone but themselves. They don't take ownership. And so fear causes them to not take ownership oftentimes and they're blaming other people. So if you're always blaming people for your problems, it's because you are afraid to step out and solve your own problems and take ownership. If you take ownership, own your mistakes, learn from your mistakes, and do better, then life will be better for you.
I believe that to be true, because people do spend a lot of time on the blame game. If it wasn't for this person, I would be able to do this. If it wasn't for that person, this one stopped me, that one. And it really has everything to do with you, yourself, and just being sick and tired of being sick and tired. Stop blaming people. Focus on what your dreams are and start walking towards them.
One of the things that... again, my background prepares me for what I do now, and helping people, and I had to learn a lot of things as well. And I haven't arrived, obviously, but to collaborate with people is huge. It's a common term used now, collaboration, but they can use partnership, collaboration, working together. But at the end of the day, what you need is not all in you.
That's right. And that collaboration piece is huge, because we don't possess all of the aspects that you need for success. You do have to collaborate with other people. My strength may be someone else's challenge. My challenge is someone else's strength.
Yes.
And when we all work together, it makes for a complete body.
Yes.
The head doesn't do what the hands do, and the feet don't do what the head does.
Exactly.
So working together is definitely a part of it.
One of the very first thing that Jesus did when he started his earthly ministry was build himself a team.
That's true.
He built a team. He went out and began to recruit men. Follow me, join my team. Okay? And the disciples followed him. He taught them his vision, his plan, and then he released them, and he gave them ownership to go out and do what they've been taught. And so people have to build a team. And so sometimes the best way to get a person to work with you is share vision. And if the vision is too small, you're going to attract people that really can accept that small vision. But you can attract more resources, and you can attract people that want to do more if you have a bigger vision.
That's true. And you can't be afraid to release that vision to, expand and grow, and you have to not be afraid of incorporating other people, because that's another thing I hear people say is that, if I share my dream or my vision, someone may steal it. You can't steal what God gave you. God gave it's in your heart. It's in your heart. It's who you are.
Exactly.
It's your passion. So it will succeed.
Good example of that. I know there's trademarks and copyrights and stuff like that, and that's appropriate. But even if somebody stole that, they can't steal you.
That's absolutely right.
And so you own your individual name.
Yes.
You own who you are. And if you had to regroup, you had a setback, and they stole, legally, whatever, stole something from you, you can still be you and get back in the game.
And reproduce what you started, because it was you. You are the creator of that. And there could be 100 hairstylists within a mile radius, but everyone is an individual.
There you go.
The way you do things isn't the way anyone else does it. The way God put it in your heart is not the way someone else will see or do it.
Yes. It's awesome. That's why I enjoy life. There's no reason why a person cannot have a level of success in their life if they follow what's in their heart and believe that it's God-given.
Yes. And there's something new on the horizon for you, something that you're working on right now that I'd love to talk to you about. And it's the part of wealth building, and that's the enhancing your skills portion.
Yeah.
And so you're doing something really great right now. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, it's called Awaken. Awaken is a self-development organization that really is designed to teach people and expose them and encourage them to tap in the potential that's already in them from birth that God put inside of them. Every human being on earth has great potential. So one of our key products, services and products we offer people is life coach training to become a certified coach. And my partner, a ministry partner, his name is Tony Husted. He is probably in my mind, the world's leading trainer of certified ICF level, which is the International Coach Federation accreditation organization internationally. He's trained literally thousands of coaches all over the world, Europe, Africa, Asia, Latin America, and God has brought us together, again, collaboration. And with my 26 years of business and ministry experience and working with people and training people to fulfill their purpose in life, it was a natural blend. So we have two types of basic coach training. One what we call our lay certification training. It's done on one weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's 24 hours of training in total. Is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those 3 days. And you get a certificate and a certification, and it's ICF quality. It's ICF quality training. So you get a certificate from Awaken. And then that's a basic training for those people who like just to do it as parenting, to do it well is a coaching skill. Right. You can apply coaching to your employees and bring out the best in your employees. It's a skill to help you discover potential in anything. If you want to become a professional, we offer the professional Awaken certified coach professional training, and that is 3 more weekends. And it's awesome. We've had our most recent graduate class that came out in January of this year, and they're already booming. We have one that's published a book. His name is Donovan Darnell, doing really well. His book is called Before I Do, and he's not even married yet. He's talking about what happens before you get married, and how can he do that? He knows there's more inside of him.
That's right.
And he's tapping into it. And we have another young lady, Christine Patterson. She's been training companies and individuals and government, and she's a coach and coaching individuals in various parts of the country. So these are our partners and what we do. So we started there, and now we're migrating to businesses, providing coaching, training. We just met with a Fortune 100 company about 3 weeks ago. I got a communication this week that they want to now incorporate us as part of their training to their human resource staff, and they're a large multinational company. So it's exciting because these doors open because I'm walking in my sweet spot. I'm leveraging what I've learned over these years and done over the years. I'm collaborating, bringing the best of the best available to people. And we have an upcoming Awaken event coming up in May, so we're looking forward to it.
I want to hear about that. You're listening to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. This is Miss Charlene, and I'm talking to Pastor Ed Smith from Zoe of Whittier, and we are talking about Awaken, and Awaken is a part of wealth building, and some people need coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Some people need coaching. In fact, I'd say people who are wealthy, who are acquiring wealth, have a business coach. Most successful businesses.
I have a coach. Okay.
I have a coach also. And it gives you better perspective. It helps keep you on track. They give you homework too. They give you things to do.
Exactly.
So we're talking about Awaken right now, and you're talking about as far as enhancing your skills and your ability to not only encourage yourself, but your family members, your staff. And so on the business end of it, the new part of it that you're working on, I want to give you a chance to, if anyone is interested in becoming a part of Awaken, how would they get in contact with you and your organization?
You can go to our website, awaken.com. Now, Awaken is uniquely spelled. It's spelled A-W-Y-K-E-N. No A. A-W-Y-K-E-N.
Now, why is it spelled that way?
I knew you would ask that. We put a Y, replace the A with the Y for a number of reasons. One of the reasons why is that it focuses on the why in you. It's about you, what's going to happen in your life, the potential in your life. And the other reason is that it was available in all the .coms and .orgs and .tvs and .nets and so forth. So I bought all of them. I bought every version of Awaken Your Coach, Awaken Your Life, and so forth. So because we have a big vision. But it's really about a unique way of spelling Awaken and a way to tap into the uniqueness in people. But they can go to awaken.com. We have a website, and you read about what we're doing. You can sign up and be part of one of our upcoming training classes. All the details are there. Or also, you can download our free app. We have an app, and it's available on Android as well as on Apple. So go to your app store and download Awaken app, and you get it free.
Oh, wow. And then to take the 3-day classes, the first entry level of Awaken, what days are those? Are they 3 days during the week, or is it over a weekend plus a Friday? What days do you normally?
It's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, so you do give up 2 work days, but it's worthwhile the investment. We just had a graduation this past Saturday, and it was awesome. I mean, to hear the people talk about how their life been changed, and this is exactly what I've been dreaming about. We're finding people that have retired doing it,
Mm-hmm.
people that are in their 20s and 30s doing it, people that have been divorced and struggling with their identity and what they should be doing. They got a sense of, because see, coaching is it focuses primarily on how you help other people pull out their potential. But for me to do that, I got to bring it out of me.
That's right.
So the skill that I would use to help someone else, I get awakened first. And so as our students went through the training, they're walking out here with clarity of vision and on fire, and they're doing wonderful things because they realize they've been awakened. Now they can be more confident, and now they have the skills to awaken others.
And it creates a synergy.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a room filled with people who have purpose
Mm-hmm.
and are talking about their purpose, it creates a synergy. It gives you that energy boost to have the confidence, to
Yes.
dispel the fears,
There you go.
to get out there and do what you need to do to create a legacy and a financial stability for you and your family. So it kind of comes full circle.
That's it. Now, coaching is interesting. Coaching is not consulting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not giving advice. It's not telling people what to do. Coaching in the professional sense, and how the professionals now, everybody's mama maybe call themselves a coach these days.
Right.
And allow them just use their name and their brand, and that's fine. They can do that if they want to. But there's classic training that goes along with it. And coaching came out of psychology and neuroscience.
Right.
So it was really designed, how are you built? For example, in our brains, we have a part of our brain called the neocortex. And that's where we see vision. We see things through that part of our brain. Some people, we all have it, but some people have not developed it to be able to see vision beyond where they are today for a number of reasons, but it can still be developed.
Right.
So coaching helps them develop and utilize their neocortex to start seeing things. For example, one part of a coaching client relationship is try to help them begin to see where they want to go and how to get there. And they may say, well, I don't know, I can't see nothing, I'm not sure how to get there. Or kind of, just throwing it up. I say, okay. Well, there's a technique we use. We may say, well, it's like a mentor approach. Well, what if you are close with a person that really could do that really well? How will they do it? Who are they? They mention the person's name. I know so-and-so, or I know of them. They may not know them personally, but if they know that football player or that business person or what have you, they know their name. Well, what I know about them, they would do it this way. And they go in detail. And they say, then you say, okay, that's great. Now, what that was you.
Right.
Oh.
The light bulb comes on.
It comes on. See, coaching is designed, it's really mostly asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I tell you what to do, and I may know how to do it, and it's a good thing to do, and it's a shortcut if you would, but if it doesn't work, who am I going to blame? You.
That's right.
I haven't taken ownership for it. If I discover it for myself, then I own it.
You own it.
The light comes on, as you said earlier. That's what professional coaching is really all about. And so it's about asking the right questions, but asking the questions most people are afraid to ask you.
And also it helps you it makes you think.
Yes.
It forces you to think and not rely on others to think for you. Because when you can think for yourself, that's a whole other level of freedom.
Yeah, and that's where discoveries and innovation and new ideas and finding money and finding partners and ways to earn more money and ways to cut costs and ways to all kind of things, because you develop a mindset of figuring it out and thinking for yourself. That's why I like Ask, Seek, and Knock.
That's right. So we're going to look forward to that book.
Yeah, I'm
You
excited.
can come back on and talk about the book.
Mm-hmm.
So from a business perspective, you said that's another aspect of Awaken that you're getting into. So there's a lay person's perspective,
And a
then
professional
there's a
coach.
professional coach. Now, the professional coach, let's talk about that person.
The professional coach is the person who wants to do it full time. And we have people that are doing it full time. That's their job. They get paid to do coaching for individuals. And people pay them. Most coaching is done on the telephone right now.
Right.
So you don't have to be there face to face. So you can be in LA, in your office, at your kitchen table, on the phone, on your computer, coaching someone else in New York or another country. That's what coaching allows you to do. So your people pay you because they see the value and they need the ongoing coaching. They want more of your time. Typically, it may require anywhere between a 4 to 6 months relationship as a place to begin, and then they can renew that relationship. They want to see further value and need. but it is definitely, it is the second fastest growing profession in the world, coaching is.
Well, in sales, I know we usually have business coaches, or we have, a sales manager, someone who's a proverbial coach.
That's it.
And, it helps you to stay on course for what your goals are. And like you said, they're not thinking for you. They're not telling you what to do.
Yes.
They're helping you open up and realize what potential is there,
yes,
and move towards it.
It's interesting. The coaching industry was established in the business community, coaching executives.
Right.
So it's about a $10 billion industry. What it has now migrated, in addition to the business executives, top in the C-suite, if you would, now it's down to the rank and file of the company. So because companies are realizing now, we need to help coach our employees at the lower levels too. That's front lines on the counters and airlines selling tickets, or we to coach them how to handle problems, how to think on their feet, but also coach them in life areas, because when they don't do well at their job, 9 times out of 10, it's a personal life issue problem.
That's true, that they're really thinking about.
So we call it life coaching.
Right.
And oftentimes it's not total alignment with what you do in your job with what you really want to do with your life. And so we help people get started about where's your vision, how you identify with who you want to do what you want to do, and also your values. All these are need to be aligned. Then otherwise you have a vision, but your values aren't there.
Right.
Okay. And that's a problem.
Wow. This is Accelerated Radio. I'm Miss Charlene, and you're having lunch with the Finance Bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I have in the studio today Pastor Ed Smith, Zoe of Whittier Church. Pastor Ed is talking about Awaken, and we're talking about the 5 secrets of wealth building. And I am really enjoying this conversation. You're dropping a lot of knowledge, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. And so it's exciting, Charlene. I'm 62. I'll be 62 years old in June. I feel like I'm 25.
Wow.
My vision is like I've gotten literally born again. Opportunity. I don't see doom and gloom. I'm aware of what goes on in our, the wars, with ISIS and different things, and I understand that, but doesn't mean I can't live a fulfilled life.
That's right.
And so I'm not being impractical and so forth. And I think we need to address some real issues in our country. And I definitely support those and involve in those areas. But in the meantime, there's an individual purpose in life. I have to do my part so I can contribute my part to the world.
Right.
So we're working with businesses. So we have a Awaken business unit and
Right.
Awaken ministry unit to work with churches. When our church got impacted, like most churches, got impacted with the economy slowing down. The bubble broke, if you would, and busted. People lost homes, they lost jobs. Our church income went down as well. We had to cut costs, tighten the belt. And I recall driving home from the office one day, and I asked God, I said, God, you called me to pastor this church. I know we're not going under, but this is not good. And I know you're a God of increase, and so what do I do? I just asked a simple question. And what God spoke to my heart was very simple. What would a businessman do? And I believe he said it that way because I think like a business person. So
Right.
I thought, get more customers. Because people were leaving, the church because they had to move in with the kids. The kids lived, 60 miles, 100 miles away. Or they're upset with God because they lost this, they lost that. They're just frustrated. Mm-hmm. So they didn't want to come to church that much. They didn't have the money to give like they used to. So it's impacting our ministry.
Right.
And so, but there's no shortage of people with needing for hope.
That's right.
Wanting to do better. And so I went after the harvest, as the Bible says. Jesus says the harvest is plenteous, but the labors are few. I decided I'm going to work for that harvest and win people to Christ, give them hope, give them an opportunity. And I partner with people like Joel Osteen
Right.
and other ministries, learn how to do it more effectively to bring hope to people. And you know what? That's what we do. And people want it.
Right. And it's working.
It works.
working.
Yeah, it works.
When you're at your lowest point and have the most adversity, that's when you need to be the most focused on staying in, church versus running away from it.
Exactly.
Because as long as you can get there,
it's something good for you.
It's something good for you when you arrive.
Yes. And so we're excited. We think we have something to offer. In fact, we know we do. And we believe it's our time to be a blessing to individuals who would like to have another source of income, because you can do coaching on the side.
Right.
Have your day job. It can be, coaching can be full-time, or it can be added to what you already do as a school teacher, as a counselor, as a doctor, medical doctor. almost anything profession can add coaching to enhance your skill. If you want to strengthen your resume value and be more marketable and more valuable to any company, coaching will help you, because it is a skill that brings out the best in people. That could be your team, fellow teammates at the company,
That's
or your
right.
own life. And even in parenting, we plan to offer some special training for parents because a lot of times you can't just tell your kids what to do, especially when they get older.
That's very true.
You got to coach them and ask questions and help them migrate to where they need to be. That's a skill that we teach.
That's very true. Yeah, you get children get to an age where they're young adults, and you can't just tell them what to do anymore.
No, we're not hearing that.
They're
okay.
not going to hear you, and they can either get in their car and drive away or walk away or whatever.
Right.
So you have to have a different approach, and coaching is a better approach. It's a very positive approach.
Yes.
So I encourage parents, to get involved and, seek out the information that Pastor Ed and Awaken have to offer, because you start with your own family.
Exactly.
And coaching them. And then there's members of families, we all have members of our families that need to be coached and, and taught things that they may not necessarily be open to in a different conversation environment. So
Right.
we have those. And then, people in your setting, my setting, coaching is a great thing. It's a great thing.
It's interesting that you say that, because what the world calls coaching, Jesus called disciple making.
Right.
And so he was always asking questions, getting people to think about what he said
Right.
and how does it apply to you.
your life, yes.
And so when we don't think about questions, then we become robots, and that's not good.
Right.
So we're designed to think and use our brains and discover. That's why I like the word discover, to discover answers and solutions and discover opportunity, innovation, and discover a better life.
And so with Awaken, if someone wants to get involved and at any level, what would be the contact information again for our listeners?
Contact us at awaken.com, AWYKEN.com. And all the information is there for our upcoming training that we have at Whittier location right now. We've had training in Seattle. We're planning to go to Spain and South Africa by the end of the year, and I'll be providing training there. And then also Brazil. We're working on a Portuguese version of our website in Brazil, because we have a strong interest in bringing Awaken to Brazil.
That's
and also
wonderful.
to Mexico.
That's wonderful.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I love it. So now with Awaken and the coaching work that's being done now, what do you see as, I understand the spiritual aspects of coaching, but from a financial perspective, what do you see as being the big benefits from having a coach, being a part of Awaken? And I'll let you answer that, then I have another question.
Well, if they decide to become a professional coach, although even as what we call a lay, which is the first level of training, they could charge. But what we do with our professional coaches that go through the formal training, we know we can vouch for their level of their quality of expertise.
Okay.
And so we help promote them. They're part of our network. We feature them. We're featuring coaches now on our Awaken fan page. If they look, they can join, become a fan member of our Awaken on Facebook. And we're featuring coaches there right now that are full-time doing coaching and doing well. And we will be featuring others. And so that's one of the benefits. And so they enhance their business. Oftentimes you go become an accountant, you go get a degree, become a doctor. They don't help you market your business.
No, they don't.
Good. I'm glad you came.
Right.
Here's your graduation certificate. Go.
You're just out there.
Yeah, we want to build a global community of coaches that are helping to awaken the potential in people's lives, and they can do that and earn an income. What's so powerful about Awaken, for example? Let's say a lady been in the work environment, and now she has a child, and she needs to be at home for a while with the child. The child's young. Maybe she has 2 children, and it's a little challenging. And so she can set, while the child's either asleep or in preschool or at school, she can have, like, say, from 9 or 10 to 1 and coach people at her schedule and make money and do well. People pay, the average amount people pay per month for coaching is like $300 to $400 a month.
That's very true.
And so you get 10 of those, and that's a nice piece of change. And then if you go spend more time doing it, it's very, very powerful. On our website, we give 15 reasons why Awaken Coaching may be for you. If you go to our website at awaken.com, AWYKN, you can read about the 15 reasons how Awaken may be a best fit for you.
Now, at a professional level, what is the amount of time that a person would take the training to get to a professional level?
There are 3 weekends. There's a total of 4 sessions. The first session is what we call the lay, meaning you're not professional, a lay person. It's a basic place to begin. For some people, that's all they want.
Right.
Because they want, I don't want to be a professional coach, but but it's quality enough where we give out a certificate to do that. But those who are going further, they get 3 more weekends of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's spaced out over 3 months. So it's once a month, you have a weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it is costing you some vacation time or what have you to do that, but you're investing in yourself.
You're investing in your future, and time is a part of investing in your future.
That's it.
You have to take the time, make the time to invest in you.
Yes.
You know, we invest in everything else.
There you go.
But we don't really invest in ourselves in a lot of ways. And if you take the time to invest in yourself, what will come from that? The benefits will be to you, yourself, your family, and the people around you. So I commend you for starting this. This is great. And so I wanted to give the opportunity to our audience to one more time get that information. So could you give it to us again? It's
awaken.com, AWYKEN.com. And by the way, our church website is zcf.org, Zoe Christian Fellowship, ZCF, Zebra Cat Frank.org. And that's our church website.
Now, if someone wanted to come and visit the church, you know, where are you located?
We're located in Whittier, just about 4 or 5 miles east of the 605 freeway off of Florence. And the address is 16721 that's my address. It's 10252 Mills Avenue.
Mills Avenue. Mm-hmm. And yours is what they would consider a drive-to church also, because all of your members don't necessarily live in Whittier. A lot of your members come from all over Southern California.
They come from Mission Viejo. They come from Riverside. They come from Inland Empire. They come from L.A. They come from Santa Monica. They come from the Valley. They come from all over. Our core is probably about a 30-mile radius, and but it has been increasing in our church. A number of people that are from the Whittier address and the surrounding communities, Long Beach, Norwalk, Buena Park, Anaheim, cities like that.
Wow. Yeah, because, you know, you think Whittier, and I know some people ask me, they go, you to church in Whittier? Yes. And it's worth the drive.
Yes, it's a good church. You know, I mean, I love it. People are good people. They're there for good, positive, motivational reasons. They want to be there. We have awesome worship, as you know. I'm focused on teaching people the Word of God. And we have a lot of good ministry programs we offer to help people develop their personal lives, their marriages, their children. I just started recently what I call Saturday Leadership Academy for our youth. It is powerful because we wanted to go deeper than what we can do and offer on Sunday morning for our young people. And I'm going deep with character development, spiritual formation. And I teach. We have other leaders teaching. And it's 3 weekends straight for once a quarter. So it's not too much, but it's a commitment.
Right.
Because if you want to go to the next level, it requires a commitment, even as a young person. So that's starting out very well, and we're excited about that because we believe in making investments in our young people, and it takes sharing with young people about the keys of leadership, success, and so forth.
So when you're talking about building wealth, it's multi-layered. It's not just one aspect. It's not just a financial layer. It's your health. Mm-hmm. Which is extremely important, making yourself healthy, eating right, exercising, and doing those things. And it's also legacy building, so that you can leave something for not just your children, but your grandchildren. And the key that you said that was important to me about that was teaching them how to keep the legacy going, not just handing them, something and moving on, but teaching them how to keep it going so that it does become a legacy, because a legacy is not just someone leaving you a check.
Right. And the teaching it needs to be done in multiple ways. One is explicit. You share with the person what you're doing, and then also why you do what you do.
Right.
But also you need to show them. And that's why following people, shadowing people, observing them, working alongside them is so huge. And oftentimes you may have to volunteer to do that.
That's right.
You may not get paid, but you're learning something. That's how Steven Spielberg got exposed to what he does. But he just volunteered to hang around the studio and get the coffee.
Exactly. Exactly. And picked up all the skills.
That's it.
Yeah, necessary. And then he stepped out and did it.
That's
you
it.
know,
Followed
his vision and his passion. So I hope this is encouraging to those listening. Dispelling the fears. We have fear. Get out of that dark, ugly place in your head, you know, because the mind can be a scary place.
Now, part of that, though, Charlene, is you need people to help you. You
That's
see,
very
your
true.
environment is key.
Yes.
Most people don't like fear, but they're not in an environment where they can be encouraged to be in faith,
Right.
and to follow their dreams. So having the right people, you know, if your husband or wife is doing that, you can't just, I'm not saying divorce them tomorrow, but get some friends
That's right.
that's going to encourage your vision.
Right. And that can see what you're talking about. You know, I have a couple of friends. Well, thankfully, I have friends who are of like mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so we encourage each other.
That's it.
And you don't have to be in the same business. You don't have to have the same ideas about what to do. It's just a place of encouragement.
Yes.
You know, and everyone has their own lane. And
Exactly.
we're comfortable in our own lane, but we encourage each other in that lane. And I think that's very important. And sometimes you have to add friends
Yeah.
and spend less time with others.
Exactly.
You know, spend more time with the positive people and less time with the negative people.
When you mention the lane, one of the teachings I've done over the years is called what I call jump the track.
I know.
Where
Speak to that,
where
please.
you start at one area of profession or skill or experience, and you may find a limit. You jump the track. You do something else. You leverage that experience into another area. So if you're at a place where they say, well, it's as high as you can go, how much money you can make, and it's close to the house, you like what you do, but you can't go any further, jump the track.
Right.
Get another job that may give you a better opportunity or start something on your own. And so life coaching, for example, allows you to jump the track and then start and migrate there. Start off with your day. Don't quit your day job.
Don't quit your day job.
You go ahead and just enhance what you're doing and become good at it. And then when you start doing paid coaching on the side.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ladies that's doing coaching full time, she was doing it when she quit her job, I think about August last year. And I'm thinking, you quit your job, but she was coaching, so she started running. And she said, before then I was doing coaching early in the morning from people in New York before I go to work, and she was making it happen. And I said, wow. And then she jumped out. So she jumped the track.
Yes. So it unlocks the
Potential.
passion and potential in you and allows you to be who God created you to be.
Yes.
That's wonderful. We're with Pastor Ed Smith from Zoe Christian Fellowship of Whittier. He is the pastor there, and he has Awaken, which is a coaching firm. And, you know, if you want to be a part of that, you can go to the Awaken website and see what's offered there. They have the lay person's perspective on the training
and professional.
And then the professional. And then also now you're going to be adding business.
Yeah, we've already begun to, we just sent out a proposal in response to a request from a church to provide some coaching and under our Awaken Ministry group. So I've been on a board of a Christian lender. They're the largest lender of church loans in America for about 18 years. And I've been seeing churches struggle for years, mostly operationally and administratively and managing the money. And many churches have gone out of business. We've seen many, too many.
Yes.
And it's because they didn't understand how to manage the operation,
Right.
how to adjust with change. So you have pastors, they're praying, believing God that things will change. No, you need to change.
Right.
Okay? The world is changing. It's not going back.
No, and it's
So
not
you
going to
got to
wait for
change.
you.
It's not going to wait.
That's right.
So, they're naive.
Right.
And sometimes they're not taught business management in seminary, in Bible colleges. Most of them are not getting it. So, or they delegate that to someone. Well, that's the accountant, But you need to understand, if you're the leader of the organization, you got to have some level of understanding of marketing, of business, and people, human relationships.
That's right.
It's not just teaching the Bible. It's a whole dynamic. So we helping churches to reduce their lending expenses, to grow their churches, and to do a variety of things to reach the younger generation.
So this Awaken is for anyone.
Yeah.
So it's for the lay person. It's for the one who wants to be the professional.
Mm-hmm.
It's for if you own a business and you need your staff trained
There you go.
in areas. If you, as the owner of the business, needs training, professional coaching,
Right.
you can get that at Awaken. Pastors, check in and check it out, because we definitely want to. I'm glad it's inclusive.
Yeah.
Everyone can get involved.
And someone may ask the question, may be wondering even, how am I able to do this in pastor church? I collaborate. I'm not doing this by myself. We have teams and other organizations. We partner with other accounting firms and people that have expertise. So when we get a contract, we schedule them to come and do it.
Right.
So this contract we're about to get is a major Fortune 100 company. They have offices all over the country.
So you couldn't possibly be in every place all at one time.
But my partner has trained thousands of ICF level coaches, and he can call in 50 right now.
Right.
We want you in New York. We want you in Sacramento. We want you in this city and that city. And we'll train them in our way. That takes about a weekend because they're already certified coaches.
Right.
And we release them to work with these companies.
Wow. And then you promote, and that's a big deal. You promote them on your website.
There you go.
So that helps their business also. So you get a built-in marketing team.
Exactly.
To help you once you become a professional coach to step out and do what you were created to do.
We just announced our last graduation class this past weekend where we are going to provide some collaboration with our professional coaches in writing books together. They'll write a chapter, another one write a chapter, and we put it all together as an awakened book on a certain focused topic.
That is excellent. And so it goes back to teamwork.
Teamwork, sister.
You are not an island. Everyone needs a team to work with.
So when it's a bestseller, we can say, I'm a bestseller. Maybe only one chapter, but I'm a bestseller.
That's absolutely right. That's right. A best-selling book, top 20.
That's it.
But it is. It's about teamwork. So the secrets to wealth building are maintaining good health, creating a legacy, creating a great financial portfolio. And there are people to help you in all of these areas. In the area of health, there's people for legacy building. There are people to help you with your finance, enhancement of your skill sets, and dispelling fear. And through coaching, you can accomplish these things. You can be coached through Awaken. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is an excellent, excellent project, Pastor
We
Ed.
have an upcoming event on Saturday, May 23rd.
Okay.
At the Marriott Long Beach Airport Hotel, just off the 605 freeway.
What time?
At Lakewood, 9 o'clock in the morning. And so we just solidified. I just got agreement on the date yesterday. So we're going to be having a pre-announcement notice another week or so. But your audience hears it first.
Yay! We're the first to hear
That's it.
So give us the date again, and where's it going to be at?
It's May 23rd, our Awaken event, and the theme of it is Time to Reignite Your Passion.
Wow, that
and
sounds
we have
exciting.
Deborah Pergay. She's an outstanding speaker, international television host, and bestseller, millions of copies of her books.
Yes.
We have Donovan Darnell. He's a new author, certified life coach through Awaken, excellent speaker. I mean, he's about 30-something years old, real good, powerful guy. And then we have a young lady by the name of Christina Michelle Patterson, and she's going to be part of the team. So all four of us will be speaking. I'll be speaking there as well. But let me just say this just real quickly, if you would, to your audience. I said a lot. I'm sure it sounds good to you. I just want to encourage you to believe in yourself, to believe in how God wired you. Others may not understand you yet. Focus on learning about you. There's 7 basic learning styles. That's your giftings. It may be more kinesthetic, you move.
Right.
It may be logical, how you think. It may be more audio listeners, you're a listener. People learn differently.
Right.
When we understand how we're wired,
we can be successful.
That's our gift.
That's the gift. That's the key.
Gift. And then we share our gift to people.
Love it. Pastor Ed, it has been so wonderful having you on. You always encourage and inspire me, and I wanted to share you with my world.
Well, I love you, my sister.
And I thank you, and we're looking forward to your upcoming event, and it's on March 23rd. Saturday, March 23rd. It starts at 9 a.m. It's going to be at
the Marriott Airport, Long Beach Airport Hotel, right off the 405 freeway.
Done in style class, as always.
It's going to be nice.
So we look forward to that.
Reignite your passion.
Yes. And so Awaken, you can find out more information
at awaken.com.
If you want to come and visit the church, where is it at?
It's in Whittier, Zoe Christian Fellowship, 10252 Mills Avenue, zcf.org.
Pastor Ed, thank you so much for coming on. It has been my pleasure. I know everyone listening got a great deal of information from you, and we look forward to our future coaches, and we also look forward to you coming back again and sharing more with us. Thank you so
guys.
much.
You guys are all right.
Thank you so much, Pastor Ed. We appreciate it.
I like that song, Money, Money, Money.
Lunch with the Finance Bunch. This is Miss Charlene. Have a wonderful day. See you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.